What if I told you that Marvel's biggest movie ever may have just had its entire first trailer leaked? And if these leaks are even half true, Avengers Doomsday is about to completely change the MCU forever. We're talking about Doctor Doom sitting on his throne like an emperor, Steve Rogers making a shocking return, Thor facing an enemy unlike anything he's ever encountered, Loki secretly altering the timeline, and the X-Men finally entering the battle. Now, before we dive in, remember that this is based on a leaked trailer description that has been circulating online. Nothing here has been officially confirmed by Marvel Studios, so take everything with a grain of salt. But if this leak turns out to be real, then we may already know some of the biggest moments from the first Avengers Doomsday trailer. And trust me, the final scene might be the most terrifying Doctor Doom moment Marvel has ever created. Let's get into it. The leaked trailer reportedly opens with one of the most powerful shots we've ever seen in the MCU. Instead of beginning with explosions or superheroes flying across the screen, everything starts in complete silence. The camera slowly moves through the dark halls of Latveria before finally revealing Doctor Doom sitting alone on his massive throne. The atmosphere is cold, quiet, and intimidating. Without saying a single word, Doom immediately establishes himself as someone who doesn't need to prove his power. His presence alone is enough to command fear. The trailer then follows Doom as he walks through his enormous castle until he stops in front of a gigantic portrait of a woman and a young boy. According to several long-running rumors, these are believed to be his wife and son. This is where things become incredibly interesting. Instead of portraying Doom as a villain obsessed with conquering the world just for power, Marvel could be giving him a deeply personal motivation. The leaks claim that Doom lost his family in a tragic accident, one that also left his face permanently scarred. But here's the shocking part. Instead of blaming fate, or himself, Doom reportedly blames Steve Rogers. Not because Steve directly caused the tragedy, but because he believes Steve's actions across the multiverse eventually led to the chain of events that destroyed everything he loved. If that's true, then this completely changes the emotional foundation of Avengers Doomsday. For the first time, Doctor Doom wouldn't simply be fighting the Avengers because they're heroes. He would genuinely believe they're responsible for ruining his life. That kind of motivation creates a villain who's much more dangerous than someone chasing power. He's driven by grief, he's driven by loss, and in his own mind, he believes he's the hero. That alone could make Doctor Doom one of the greatest MCU villains we've ever seen. The trailer then reportedly shifts away from Latveria and reunites us with Earth's newest team of heroes. Thor arrives alongside the Fantastic Four to meet the new Avengers, a group many fans believe will consist of the surviving heroes we've seen since the events of Thunderbolts. That it's another version of the legendary hammer from a different universe, suggesting that Steve himself may also come from another reality. If that's true, then Marvel isn't simply bringing Captain America back for nostalgia. They're making him one of the most important pieces in the entire multiverse story. And if this is only the beginning of the trailer, imagine what Marvel is saving for the final act. As incredible as Steve Rogers' return is, the trailer reportedly doesn't stop there. It immediately shifts into a much more emotional moment. Steve comes face to face with Yelena Belova. For a few seconds, neither of them says anything. Then Yelena finally breaks the silence. She tells Steve that Natasha Romanoff wasn't just another Avenger. She was family. And if Natasha was family to Steve, then that means Steve is family to her too. It's a small moment, but one packed with emotion. Remember, Steve never got the chance to properly say goodbye to Natasha after the events of Endgame. Seeing Yelena could force him to relive one of the greatest losses of his life. But before the reunion can continue, everything suddenly changes. Yelena is attacked. The two begin fighting what appears to be another version of Yelena herself. The battle is fast, brutal, and completely unexpected. Then comes the twist. The mysterious woman transforms before everyone's eyes. It's Mystique, one of the X-Men's most dangerous mutants, has officially entered the MCU. If this leak is accurate, it confirms that shapeshifters will play a huge role in Avengers Doomsday. It also means the heroes won't know who they can trust anymore. Anyone could secretly be Mystique, any ally, any leader. Even someone standing beside the Avengers could actually be working for another side. That level of paranoia could make this one of Marvel's most suspenseful films yet. The trailer then moves to another jaw-dropping reveal. We see the iconic Baxter Building. But something has changed. This isn't simply the headquarters of the Fantastic Four anymore. According to the leak, the building is now occupied by the X-Men. If true, this could mean that multiple universes are already beginning to merge long before the final battle. Instead of introducing the mutants one by one, Marvel may be throwing them directly into the biggest conflict in MCU history. And honestly, that's exactly what fans have been waiting for. The trailer then cuts to Reed Richards confronting Doctor Doom. Unlike previous adaptations where these two are bitter, lifelong enemies, this version appears much more complicated. Reed desperately demands answers. He wants to understand why Doom is doing all of this, why he's allowing entire universes to collapse, why millions of innocent lives are being placed at risk. But Doom refuses to give a straight answer. He simply stares back at Reed with absolute confidence. That's what makes this version of Doom so fascinating. He doesn't see himself as evil. He believes everything he's doing is necessary. According to the rumors, Reed Richards slowly begins uncovering Doom's true objective. Not world domination, not revenge, something much bigger. The complete reconstruction of reality itself. But before Reed can figure everything out, the trailer delivers another shocking moment. Loki appears. And surprisingly, he's wearing the exact TVA uniform from his Disney Plus series. This isn't the god of stories sitting at the center of the multiverse. This appears to be Loki before his incredible transformation. According to the leaked description, Loki secretly visits Steve Rogers shortly after Steve chooses to remain in the past with Peggy Carter. At first, Steve believes he's simply living the peaceful life he always dreamed of. But Loki knows something Steve doesn't. By remaining in that timeline, Steve has accidentally created a dangerous branch in reality. A branch that could eventually destroy entire universes. So Loki makes an impossible decision. He removes Steve, and even his family, from that reality and transports them into another universe. One believed to be the home of the Fantastic Four. The goal is simple: prevent an incursion before it's too late. But ironically, that decision may end up causing an even bigger catastrophe. Because throughout Marvel's multiverse saga, we've learned one terrifying truth. Every choice has consequences. Every timeline matters. And every attempt to fix reality often creates an even greater problem. As different universes continue colliding, chaos spreads across existence itself. Heroes begin realizing they're no longer fighting to save one planet. They're fighting to save every universe at once. And that's when the trailer reaches what many believe is its most epic action sequence. Thor finally comes face to face with Doctor Doom. No armies, no distractions. Just two of the most powerful beings in Marvel history standing across from one another. Thor wastes no time. With everything he has, he hurls Stormbreaker directly toward Doom. The weapon tears through the battlefield with unbelievable speed. For a split second, it looks unstoppable. But then, Doctor Doom simply raises one hand. Without effort, without moving, he catches Stormbreaker in midair. The entire battlefield falls silent. Thor himself looks stunned. Because no one, not even Thanos, has ever made stopping Stormbreaker look this easy. In that single moment, Marvel reportedly establishes Doctor Doom as the greatest threat the Avengers have ever faced. And if this scene really appears in the official trailer, fans are going to lose their minds. If the previous moments weren't enough to convince you that Doctor Doom is about to become the MCU's greatest villain, then the trailer's final sequence reportedly removes all doubt. After effortlessly stopping Thor's Stormbreaker, the battlefield falls into complete silence. The heroes are frozen. No one knows what to do next. And then the ground begins to shake. Massive machines emerge from the shadows. At first, they're barely visible through the smoke and destruction. But as the camera pulls back, their unmistakable silhouettes become clear. The Sentinels. Yes, the same mutant hunting machines that have terrorized the X-Men for decades. Only this time, they're under Dr. Doom's control. If this leak is accurate, it suggests that Doom has somehow gained access to technology from multiple universes, allowing him to build an army unlike anything the Avengers have ever faced. Imagine combining the intelligence of Doom, the advanced science of the Fantastic Four, and the devastating firepower of the Sentinels. That isn't just an army. That's an extinction-level threat. As the Sentinels march forward, every hero realizes the battle is no longer about winning. It's about survival. Then the trailer slows down. The music becomes quieter. The action disappears. The camera focuses entirely on Dr. Doom. For a few seconds, he says nothing. Then he delivers what could become one of the most unforgettable lines in MCU history. "One day, you'll forgive me." It's a simple sentence, but it completely changes the way we look at this character. Those aren't the words of someone who enjoys destroying worlds. They're the words of someone who truly believes every terrible decision he's making will eventually save everyone. And that's exactly what makes Dr. Doom so dangerous. The greatest villains never believe they're villains. They believe they're the heroes of their own story. If Doom genuinely thinks that sacrificing entire universes is the only way to create a better future, then every heartbreaking decision he makes suddenly becomes understandable, even if it's impossible to justify. According to many rumors surrounding Avengers Doomsday, Doom may not actually be the one causing the multiversal incursions. Instead, the collisions between universes could already be happening because of years of broken timelines, alternate realities, and events stretching all the way back to Loki, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Deadpool and Wolverine. If that's true, Doom isn't creating the chaos. He's taking advantage of it. While the Avengers desperately try to stop reality from collapsing, Doom may already have a backup plan. A terrifying plan. To build an entirely new reality under his complete control. Comic book fans know exactly what that means. Battleworld. A world stitched together from fragments of destroyed universes. A place where Doom doesn't simply rule a country. He rules everything. Every surviving hero, every surviving villain, every remaining universe. If Marvel follows even part of the Secret Wars storyline, Avengers Doomsday won't be the end of the multiverse saga. It will be the event that changes the MCU forever. Now, while this leaked trailer description sounds incredibly convincing, there are still a few details worth questioning. The biggest one is Loki. The leak claims that this version of Loki appears before becoming the god of stories and secretly transports Steve Rogers to another universe to prevent a timeline from collapsing. It's definitely an interesting idea, but it also raises some major questions. During seasons 1 and 2 of Loki, he was constantly dealing with the TVA, Kang variants, and the destruction of the sacred timeline. There doesn't seem to be much room in that story for him to leave on a completely separate mission involving Steve Rogers. Of course, Marvel could always explain this through time travel or reveal that we haven't seen the full story yet. After all, surprises are what the MCU does best. Another question is whether Marvel would really reveal so many massive moments in the very first trailer. Captain America's return, the X-Men, Mystique, the Fantastic Four, Thor versus Doom, the Sentinels. That's an enormous amount of information for one trailer. Marvel is known for hiding major surprises, so there's always a chance that parts of this leak are either incomplete, exaggerated, or intentionally misleading. Still, if even half of these scenes make it into the official trailer, fans around the world are going to have plenty to talk about. One thing is certain: Marvel Studios knows that Avengers Doomsday has to deliver. This isn't just another Avengers movie. It's the film that needs to unite the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the entire multiverse saga before Secret Wars arrives. The expectations couldn't be higher, and if Doctor Doom lives up to everything we've heard so far, we may be witnessing the rise of the greatest Marvel villain ever brought to the big screen. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think this leaked trailer description is real, or do you believe Marvel is deliberately spreading fake leaks to keep fans guessing? And if this trailer turns out to be genuine, which moment are you most excited to see? Steve Rogers wielding Mjolnir? Thor battling Doctor Doom? The X-Men joining the MCU? Or Doom commanding an army of Sentinels? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more Marvel news, trailer breakdowns, leaks, and theories, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to Mr. Ficks, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates from the MCU. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.